Good morning, Monday the 25th of March here at Northants Golf Club. This morning I thought I'd do a video on what data we collect out on the greens here at the golf club. We use the first green as our indicator green, so we take a lot of our data from this first green. I'm now just going to do a video that I'll join together on what data we collect and why. So firstly, you'll see I've got Andy in the background here with what is called a parimeter. Now a parimeter measures the lateral and vertical deviation of the ball. I'll just zoom in on the machine that he's got. It's got an iPhone attached to this little device here with a ball underneath, as you might be able to see, and Andy will now show you how we use that on the surface. So we're here on the first green. Andy will now walk in one direction and it will give us a reading of lateral and vertical deviation. He'll do it the other way and they will do like a Union Jack formation on the green. This is a great indication to show us how smooth and how true our greens are, and gives us a reading that we can use going forward throughout the season. And also it gives a good representation for before any maintenance and after any maintenance. Obviously when we do course maintenance on these greens, sometimes they might look to the eye quite bad, but obviously often the ball roll actually doesn't change too much. So as you can see, Andy's now in the background again. He is measuring soil temperature with a probe in the middle of the green. This will also give us a pH of the soil as well. And he's now going to work his way around the green with our TDR 150 moisture meter, and he'll take 9 to 12 readings across the first green, and this will give us an average of moisture in the top 3 inches for us to work with. Moisture is so important in these surfaces as we come into the season, because then we can identify how much moisture they need, and also we can record what our optimum performance is. So for example, if we do a double cut, double roll, we take our measurements then, and that gives us a parameter to work to as and when we know we want to get the best out of these greens. So you'll see he's going to take, like I say, 9 to 12 readings on this first green. We do these moisture readings every morning, and we also do them every afternoon. The reason for this is it gives us an indication on how much moisture deficit there is during the day. Obviously, like I said earlier, we're in March, so it's not so critical now, but as and when we get into the golfing season and the much warmer temperatures, it's so important that we get this moisture reading right, and it's so important that it gives us an indication on how much irrigation and also what maintenance we do to our greens. And next on our data collection is what's known as a Clegg hammer. So here you can see Andy using the Clegg hammer. Again, he does 9 to 12 readings across the green and he'll get an average. This machine was developed from concrete workers actually, to work out the firmness of concrete. It's been developed into the golfing market. If Andy just shows you the weight that comes down, this is to replicate a ball. So as you can see, it's in a ball shape. He holds it at the top and he drops it, and it gives us a reading of how firm these greens are. Like I say, he'll do 9 to 12 readings across the first green, and then we'll get an average for the green. This is such a great tool, again, like I mentioned earlier, to indicate what we want to get ultimate performance out of our surface. So all this data that we collect is only good when we've got historic data. But the Clegg hammer is such a great tool to have. And the final piece of data collection that I'll show you this morning is the stimp meter. This measures the green speed. So in the background here, Andy is using what's called a stimp meter. Pops the ball in the groove on the stimp meter, lifts it up until the ball falls, and then holds it still, and then we will measure the distance that the ball rolls to. We do 3 balls each way, and then we take an average of those 3 balls and add them together and obviously divide by 2. We do the same area on the first green every day, do the middle right of the first green, and like I say, you can see Andy now is going to measure these out. Consistency wise this morning, that's really good. You can see the grouping of the 3 balls, and like I say, he'll now go back the other direction, add the 2 scores together and divide by 2, and that'll give us a green speed reading. Again, this is a really good tool for us to use to enable to work out what we do to the surfaces to what we achieve from the surfaces. So for example, if we do a cut, single roll, cut and a roll, it means that we can identify what we need to do to the surfaces to get the scores or the parameters that we want. So hopefully all that will show you how and what data we take here at Northants Golf Club. Obviously there is a huge element of still human greenkeeping, looking with your eyes and feeling with your hands, but what this data does is it gives us a good indication or a good backing to what we do to the surfaces and why. So hopefully that gives you a good insight to what we do here at Northants.